Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Camera Rant. Now this is sort of a sequel to my camera rant review haul that I did originally because I hadn't quite gotten used to the camera I was filming on, so I couldn't really say much about it, even though I did kind of mention stats and things like that. Now I can't show you the camera because I'm again filming on the camera, but I shall use the box. Now I've used this for maybe a month now, a couple weeks, for a while anyways, enough time where I could get to know the camera, know how it works, what the good points are, what the bad points are. When I did that original review, that was the first time I'd ever recorded on that, so at least now I feel I have enough experience to tell you a bit about this flip cam. Now this is the Flip Video Ultra, and I'm not quite sure if they're making these anymore, which may be why it was on clearance. This is the Ultra 2 camcorder, according to the Kmart clearance sticker here. Now this was originally $150, which is a pretty good chunk of change. And for that much money, I expected a fairly decent camera, especially with the whole scenario of the cameras that led up to this camera, which is in the other video. And this was on clearance, I guess at one point for $75. I'll have to like peel it off and see what the increments are. For me, I'm nosy. I'd like to know how they got from like $150 to the end price. So now it was on clearance for $59.99. So that's like $100 off, which is awesome. But it's still pretty steep, for me anyways, because I was kind of looking in the $20, $30 range. But for a couple bucks more, if I can get a good enough quality, I'll pay that much. Especially if it's something that I'll be using quite a bit, because I don't want to be like, well, I'll just drop, $100 here for something I'll use once. Ew. Like I said, I'm ghetto. Now, the camera itself is bigger than it is on the box, obviously. And I think it's a bit, maybe it's about the same height as an iPhone, but it's a little thinner. But it's about the size of a, a smartphone. But it's about a ½ inch thick. Now, if it was thinner, it would probably be a Li-ion battery, which I personally don't like, because, especially when I was hunting for my regular camera, I didn't want a Li-ion battery because, when do you know that they're going to, like, die on you? And if they do die, what are you going to do? You have to bring your laptop and everything else with you, too, and charge it? It's not a convenient thing for me. Because, unless the battery lasts, like, 20 years, I want that option where, okay, battery died, change it, off you go. This takes 2 AA's, which was a total plus, and I just now changed the batteries that came with this, and they're just 2 regular AA Duracell batteries, nothing special. And I've had this a couple of weeks to a month, maybe. I'll have to check on the video to see. But I just now changed the batteries, and I've been using this fairly consistently throughout that time period. So the battery life, as far as those batteries anyways, was pretty damn good, a lot more than I expected, because usually if you get batteries, I was surprised that they put Duracells. Usually you get this like no-name Chinese brand battery that dies in the next 2 minutes when you put them in. But these batteries lasted a darn good while. So now I put 2 whatever brand rechargeables in, so we'll see how long that lasts. And where you put the batteries in, I will have to turn to the side here. It is right in front underneath the lens, and there's a little lock mechanism underneath where you have to unlock the cover and slide it down, plop your batteries in, and slide it back up and lock, which is, it's nice. You can easily get into the battery case. It's kind of awkward where you don't want to like touch the lens part, because I'm like, why is there like a fingerprint in my video, So that's a little awkward for me, but then I'm a doofus. But that's nice. I don't know why anybody would. Did that even come with that? Yeah, I guess it did. Why anybody would have that little lanyard. I suppose it's more for security so you don't drop it or anything like that, but then I'm paranoid and I'm like grasping with all my life as I'm holding something. But then you're like swinging it around, so I'm not too keen about those, little straps they give you. See, I for one would probably never use a lanyard anyway. Now, the power button is here on the side, and I like it and I don't like it. Sometimes when you grab it just right, you accidentally hit the power button, but you just kind of have to watch for it. But it's an easy place to get to, and turns on in like 2 seconds, so you don't have to like wait for it to like say hello and all these stupid things. It just instantly goes to where you can just turn it on, record in like a heartbeat. So I love that function. This is the back of the camera. And the screen size is fairly decent. I mean, I don't mind it. It's about 1.5, no, probably about 2 inches. It's a 2-inch screen. And for me, I don't know if it's the same for all the cameras, but when you play back and record even on the screen, there's like an oval in the middle where it's, you know, if you look at like something bright and look away, you'll see it in your eyes. It's that kind of similar effect, and it's part of the menu system where it's just sort of imprinted in the camera, but it does not come out on screen, which is good. And in that circle, it'll tell you, you know, connected and delete and whatever. It's part of the menu. So that's kind of annoying. It kind of threw me off originally, but since it doesn't come up on the actual video, you know, just something you learn to just kind of look beyond, kind of like the rims of your glasses type of thing. The buttons, as I said, were pretty simple. You have your record button, volume, up and down, and you know, pre-recorded videos left and right. That's your play button, where you play back what you'd already recorded, and your delete button. And it's kind of annoying because you hit delete button and you kind of expect to select delete or not delete with this button, but you don't. You select it with the play button. Kind of like how on the cell phones where they have like the buttons in the weirdest places. But once you figure that out, it's pretty simple. Now, I still don't like the fact, though, of the little triggered USB port where you transfer your data. And as I said in the other video, the way you have, if you have it on like a laptop where you can like sit it on the table and maybe put something underneath it so it's not like hanging off the port, you're pretty good to go. You can use that. But with me, the easiest, quickest way is to do it on my desktop. And with the USB ports, they're on the front and you have to hang it. The camera would look like this, but you have to twist it and just, and I have to like unplug everything else to plug it in just because of the way there's no room. And the weight of the camera is, you know, hanging off the port. And it's not like a supremely heavy camera, but still, it's something that, yes, I just don't like. So I had ordered a USB to USB cable, which is like, what, 6 feet long? I only need like 3, really. But I'm hoping this will work with this camera because I have one out of a set that I'd gotten, I think on clearance for like $1 or something, that has different cables. They're like retractable, like a travel kit basically for your laptop. But the other cables are kind of flaky too. They do work, but they're a little loose, so I'm hoping it's just that particular cable. So I got a cable specifically so I can just plug it in, then not have to plug everything else in and download to my, you know, desktop. So that's one thing I don't like. I mean, it's convenient in a way, but you know, you're still weighing the camera. And it has been mentioned in the reviews too. That's kind of like good idea, bad idea. I like the fact that the camera is wide enough that if you don't have a tripod, but you still have like maybe a shelf or something, it will sit upright and won't tip over. It's its own like tripod, so that was kind of a cool bonus. So it's thick enough to do that, but thin enough not to be like this hulking piece of poo. Now, the zoom on the camera is pretty much the same as all the zooms on the other type of digital video cameras, unless it's like really high end. It's not like my Snapcam, my picture camera, where, at least with a Nikon, you hear as you're going forward. It's a smooth pan, but it's lousy quality. Once you zoom up, everything gets all pixelated. So as I said, I prefer just to go to the thing and take the picture or the video. So the zoom, I think it's only like a 2x zoom, so it's not all that wonderful. But I suppose if you're using a pocket cam, you're not exactly doing vistas, you know. So we'll see. I like the idea now that the software, I like it and I don't like it because I'm old school, and I'd like if something happens to like, of course if something happens to the camera, what point is the software really, but of course the software isn't all that wonderful to begin with, but I'll get to that. Now, I think it's probably standard now at least on these like pocket cams, especially if they're like USB, where you download the program from the camera, so it doesn't come with like a CD or anything like that, which is good as far as like packaging and stuff like that is concerned. But like I said, I'd kind of like to have that physical backup, but then I'm old school. I don't like the idea of iTunes. I want the actual CD in my hand, and I'm still kind of miffed that they're stopping the DVDs. But that's another rant. Now the specs to this, I'll just read the bottom of the box here. Black and silver camcorder, 4 gigabytes of memory. Now I was working with a 4 gig card with my regular camera and was doing the videos on that, but it would only do 30-minute segments. This, even though it's a 4 gig, will do 2 hours of video, which to me is like this awesomely extravagant, you know, amount of time. And I love the fact that I can just ramble incoherently and keep going. But for 4 gig of memory, it records 120 minutes / 2 hours. Now it gives me a little star here. Okay. It goes, records 120 minutes. Asterisk. Go down to the asterisk. Product details. 4 gigabyte built-in flash memory holds up to 120 minutes of recorded video. Didn't you just tell me that before the asterisk? And so far, I haven't covered all the 2 hours yet, but I have managed to take long videos, which you will obviously see. So I love the amount of time you get. And I think maybe it was the Flipcam Ultra 1 that only did an hour. And this does 2 hours. So I'm thinking it like condenses the particular format, and I think it's an MP4. Let me find out. Of course, you have your minimum system requirements. Yep. Digital video format, H.264 video, and AAC stereo audio. And the audio is awesome on this. I was very impressed at how the sound picked up. Now, I don't know if you're getting my voice or the background that I totally forgot was actually going on now. But the audio is really, really good. And it is MP4 file format. And of course, with your various, you know, Windows Movie Maker, maybe Real Player, you could probably, you know, convert it to whatever you want. And as I said, it's 640 at 480, so it's not the high def. And this comes out of San Francisco. Okay, now I will open the box. Now this is reminding me of another YouTuber who I just discovered called Ashens. Definitely check him out. And he's out of England, and he does like comparisons between like crap, like the Chinese crap take on like a good product like an iPhone and the Chinese iPhone. And he actually did a comparison with the Flipcam and another camera that I had personally never heard of. And his review kind of ended up in like a draw. So definitely check him out. So that's the outer box, and this is the inner box, which reminds me of the video with the shameless self-promotion. Since I already know what it is, it's still telling me what it is. And then you have your commercials. Shoot anything, share everything. So that just sort of gave me a giggle. And you get buttloads of paperwork. And it sat in the box like this. And I'll just show you now this is the manual, your quick start guide, which actually is enough because it's not a complicated piece of machinery that you would need 10 million pages of, you know, this, that, and the other thing. Your basic drawing on how to install the batteries. One little page on how to get started. And the different features. And I'm glad it came with a tripod mount. I wasn't quite sure, but most of them do, but it's good to have. Red light turns on during recording or charging. Now, it didn't come with like the rechargeable pack batteries, but like I said in the other video, I think they're just rechargeable batteries that are like attached together. Now, I don't know if you just charge the camera, if you charge the batteries in the camera with that particular thing, but then with the USB plug, I don't think that'd be a good idea anyways. So I would stick with like your regular rechargeables and charge them outside the camera so you don't have to, you know, to me that was just be more convenient. Recording in play, connecting to the computer, and it tells you a little bit about the software. And it did come where you can like connect it to the TV, included in this box. Flip video camcorder, yes it did. 2 AA batteries, which it did, and they were Duracells, which were really good. TV cable, wrist strap, soft case, quick start guide, and warranty info. So that was your highly informative thing. And I keep the receipts, and this is your warranty info. Now, I got this at Kmart, right? I don't know how many of you people got a Kmart near you, but when you get a receipt, I bought just this one thing. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got the piece that fell on the floor. Got this. And then the actual receipt. Now they give you the option to, like, email you all the crap that they printed up. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? Save a tree. Print just the actual receipt. And if you want to give me an email copy, fine. And then email me the rest of this crap. Which is like, you know, buy $10,000 worth of crap from Kmart and get 2 points. And it's like, you know, Dish Network, get a $50 gift card. It's like, why? So that's that. And strangely enough, Kmart is the only store that does that. I mean, I like the, you know, email you that stuff, but they're the only ones that give you, like, you know, the 10 Commandments as your receipt. Annoying. Okay, now, you take out the little inner box. And I like the packaging. It's simple and everything is easy to get into. You didn't have to, like, struggle with anything. And I don't know what the little splot is there for. But that's the bottom of the goodness. And here's your little lanyard. The little thing is silica gel. The lanyard actually looks kind of neat. It's not just a piece of cloth. It's like a rope within some plastic. But like I said, I'd probably never use the thing anyway. And open up the bottom. And you get your TV cable. And the batteries came in on the other side. So that's the box of goodness. And I always keep my boxes too. So, you know, if I do get like another camera down the road, I can store the old camera in its original box. And it's always good to kind of have anyways. Especially, you know, just in case, you know, the thing is crap and you can have everything with you. But, like, I keep it for, like, the next 10,000 years. I actually still have my original box from my, what was it now? My Power Shot from, like, 10 years ago. That I knew I had and then couldn't find and then finally found it. So that's the lovely box. Now, as I said, there's more likes than dislikes to this camera. But the thing I kind of dislike the most is the software that came with it. And I can't remember now what the FlipShare, I think, is the name of the software. And you can't do anything in the software. Basically, all you can do is just take stuff from the camera to the computer. But it sends it into this, like, void of your computer where you're not quite sure where it went. So if you want to actually do anything with the video, like edit it and, you know, kind of stuff you'd want to do, you have to take it from the camera and export it to where you want it to go. It takes a couple extra steps, but the thing is, the version that came with the camera, which must have been an older version, had an option on the bottom where you could just do that. Okay, export, and had like a little icon. It was like a one-step thing. But if you updated it, they got rid of that, where the only icon was where you can download videos to the camera, which was kind of strange to me, but I don't know, maybe it's convenient for somebody, I don't know. And there's basically all you can do is like trim the beginning and trim the end. There's no real cutting aspect to the editing fact, so there's very little you can actually do with the software other than just download your videos. So they could have done a little better as far as the software is concerned, but at least to get your videos from the camera to the computer. And your best bet still is, you know, Microsoft Media Player and whatever equivalent is on Apple, which is still the best software I've found to edit the videos. Now, I don't know if, like, more expensive fancy-ass thingies are any better, but especially the new, what do they call it now, Windows Live Movie Maker, which gives you a few more options. other than the old-fashioned movie maker, but they're both kind of good. And this is the Flip Video Pocket Camcorder, which was originally $150 on clearance in Kmart for $59.99. I'm not sure if you can find it anywhere else. I didn't find it in Walmart. Of course, I haven't looked in other stores either, so it might be just in Kmart. And I think this will be a discontinued item. But it is a good camera with a clearance price, a lot better than $150, and definitely worth a look into if you're looking into pocket cams. If you like hearing me ramble, subscribe, comment if you have any advice or any other suggestions for halfway decent cameras, and I will see you in the next video. Later!